Hello everyone. In this session, we will see how tupules work. Let us begin by creating a tuple. Here, we create a tuple named myTuple that contains three values: apple, banana, and cherry. Tuples use round brackets and the order of elements matters. When we print the tuple, Python displays all the values exactly as they were defined. Next, notice that tuples can store different data types. In this example, integers and strings are stored together in a single tuple. This makes tuples suitable for structured records. We can also create tuples using the built-in tuple constructor. Here, a list is converted into a tuple while preserving the original order. When a string is passed to the tuple function, Python treats each character as a separate element. As a result, every letter becomes an individual item inside the tuple. Now let us look at a very important syntax rule. When a tuple has only one element, a trailing comma is mandatory. Without the comma, Python does not treat it as a tuple. In the first example, the data type is shown as tuple. In the second example, Python identifies the value as a string, not a tuple. The small comma makes a big difference. Next, let us access elements from a tuple using indexing. Python uses zero-based indexing. This means the first element is accessed using index 0. We can also use negative indexing. -1 always refers to the last element. -2 is the second last, and so on. Indexing allows precise access without modifying the tuple. Now we move to slicing. Slicing allows us to extract a portion of a tuple and create a new subtuple. When we specify a start and stop index, Python includes the start position but excludes the stop position. If the start index is omitted, slicing begins from the first element. If the stop index is omitted, slicing continues until the end. Negative slicing works from the end of tuple, giving us flexible ways to select data. Importantly, slicing never changes the original tuple. Next, we check how many elements a tuple contains. The len function, the length function, returns the total number of items. We can also check whether a specific value exists in a tuple using the in keyword. This is especially useful when validating data or making decisions based on fixed records. Now let us demonstrate tuple immutability. If we try to change a value inside a tuple, Python raises an error. X of 1 is assigned the value kiwi gives a type error. This is because tuples are immutable by design. This behavior protects critical data from accidental modifications. Although tuples cannot be modified directly, there is a common workaround. First, the tuple is converted into a list. Lists are mutable, so changes can be made easily. After modifying the list, whether changing, adding, or removing elements, we convert it back into a tuple. The original tuple remains unchanged, and a new tuple is created. Now let us see tuple packing. Whenever multiple values are assigned together, Python automatically packs them into a tuple. This happens even without explicitly using parentheses. Unpacking is the reverse process. Here, each element of the tuple is assigned to a separate variable in a single line. The number of variables must exactly match the number of values in the tuple. This feature improves code readability and reduces repetitive assignments. Sometimes the number of values is unknown. In such cases, Python allows the use of an asterisk. The start variable collects all remaining values and stores them as a list. Only one start variable is allowed, and it can appear at the beginning, middle, or end. This makes unpacking highly flexible. Next, we iterate through a tuple. The most common method is using a for loop directly on the tuple elements. This approach is clean and readable. Alternatively, we can loop through index positions using range and len. This method is useful when index values are required. Now let us combine tuples. Using the plus operator, two tuples can be joined into a new tuple. The original tuples remain unchanged, preserving immutability. Tuple multiplication repeats the elements a specified number of times. This is helpful when creating fixed pattern data or repeated sequences. Tuples are ideal for representing fixed data such as geographic coordinates. They are also commonly used for RGB color values. Since tuples are immutable, these values remain safe throughout execution. Because tuples are hashable, they can be used as dictionary keys. This is not possible with list. This feature makes tuples valuable for lookup tables and mappings. Finally, we compare tuples and list. Tuples are used when data should remain unchanged. Lists are used when frequent updates are required. Choosing the correct structure improves performance, safety, and clarity. With this, we have explored Python tuples through real coding examples. Tuples offer structure, reliability, and efficiency, especially when working with fixed data. Thank you and happy coding.